Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Chow Time Sports. I'm your host, Will.
I'm Pete, and today we have our first special guest, one of my close friends, right up here, my boy Eric. Say hello to the people, Eric.
Hello, we're live from Long Island.
We are live. So, Eric, you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself before we get started?
I've been a sorry Jets fan for the last 20 years of my life. Coming out of Seaford, New York. Fucking gotta love it. Known Peter my whole life. Sorry Colts fan as well. We're both in the same boat here. That's that.
All right, and without further ado, we're going to jump right into our picks. Starting with Thursday Night Football, we have the 2-2 Washington Commanders hosting the 0-4 winless Chicago Bears as 6.5-point favorites. Eric, you can start us off here. What do you think of this game?
Well, listen, you see Justin Fields coming off a 300-yard game against Denver last week, 4 touchdowns, 40 fantasy points. You know, you look at his stats and you just see a guy who was struggling to win, but now he's pushing through it. You see they lost to Kansas City. I don't know if they lost to Tampa Bay, and Green Bay. So what are they, 0-4 right now? Yeah, right.
Yep, winless.
Yep.
They go to Washington tomorrow. Who's the quarterback? Sam Howell?
Yep.
Sam Howell, yep.
Yep. You're looking at that Thursday primetime game. You got the DJ Moore Fields connection. I think we're looking solid for the Bears tomorrow. Could get their first win. Who knows? But it's going to be one hell of a game tomorrow. Bum teams going at it, prime time. Just got to see what happens.
I also agree this game I think it's going to be pretty scrappy. Justin Fields has started to look better. He did kind of tear up that sorry Broncos defense. It's weird to call that Broncos defense sorry, especially after what happened to them against Miami. But with that being said, I believe Justin Fields has kind of found himself, although at the end he did single-handedly sell the game. He 2 crucial turnovers late in the fourth quarter. Sam Howell has looked pretty good. His connection with Terry McLaurin has been pretty solid. Brian Robinson also looks good. I believe that the Commanders are able to get the win, but I believe that the Bears are good for plus 6.5.
Yeah, I agree with you, Pete. I think the Commanders are going to get it done tomorrow night in Washington. I think the pass rush is going to show up. I mean, Justin Fields I think he's the 3rd most sacked quarterback in the NFL this year. So that Bears O-line cannot stop a nosebleed. So I think the pass rush gets home. I think Sam Howell showed some real like talent last weekend when he played Philly. I mean, down by 7, I think it was.
Yeah, forced overtime, game-winning or game-tying drive. I mean, coming out of Sam Howell, he's coming off of a great game himself, even though they lost. But yeah, that touchdown pass was 0 seconds on the clock. It showed a lot of composure out of a rookie quarterback.
Absolutely. So I think I'm going to take Washington to win, but I do think Chicago covers. I do think they do. I think they keep it slightly close.
I honestly think it might be like a very similar situation. They might be leading, and then they just lose the game. Like they lose by a late field goal or a late touchdown to give up maybe like a 3 or 4 point lead at the end of the game. But, I mean, we'll see tomorrow. Moving on, we have the 3-1 Buffalo Bills against the 2-2 Jacksonville Jaguars. 9:30 a.m. This game is in London, folks. Jacksonville's playing their 2nd straight game in London. The Bills are favored by 5.5 here. What do you think, Chow?
Come on, give me my Buffalo Bills. They're going to absolutely smash that line of -5.5. The Jags have not looked good. Let's put it plain simple. They have not looked good. They beat a struggling Atlanta Falcons team. All right. All the offseason hype I think it's gone now. I mean, Jags have not shown that they can be a consistent team and compete in the AFC. Buffalo Bills, on the other hand, they are a juggernaut. They are going to absolutely smash Jacksonville.
The Bills have looked pretty good lately. They've found their bearings, I believe. Josh Allen has looked good. But I feel like if Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars really want to make a statement and take the lead in the AFC South, this is kind of the game to do it. With that being said, I don't feel like that what they have in Jacksonville is enough, but I believe they are able to keep it close. I think the Buffalo Bills, the Bills win and cover, but I think it's still a one-score game in London. What do you think, Eric?
Personally, I think Jacksonville pulls this out. They've been in London for a week and a half now. You're looking at the Bills. They're a cocky team. They got a lot of confidence, but Jacksonville's got nothing to lose here. They've been in London for a week and a half now. Have the Bills even got to London yet? Are they there yet?
I don't believe they're there yet. They are going to be leaving pretty soon, though, I believe.
Wednesday. Jaguars have been there since last Thursday probably.
Yeah, about there.
9:30 game, going into a different time zone a little bit.
Big difference.
Yeah, I hear you.
I feel like the Bills are going to be slacking Sunday morning. I don't think they're going to be ready as they think they should be. I think Jacksonville comes out strong. Second half, it's going to become close. But who knows? It's the Bills. So I see, obviously, they're the favorites, the Bills.
The line is 5.5. Who do you think takes that?
Probably the Bills.
Yeah.
It's hard to bet against the Bills, especially when they're playing the Jaguars.
Yeah.
I knew you wanted to say that, Eric. I was waiting for you to say that. I knew you wanted to. I could see you contemplating.
Next up, starting the 1 o'clock slate, we have the 2-2 Texans. I'd say that's one of the biggest shocks in the league that the Texans are an even 500 4 weeks into the league.
Absolutely.
Heading into Atlanta as 1.5-point underdogs. I think that C.J. Stroud is probably the second best quarterback out of the draft class. He has phenomenal stats thus far. And this Texans team has really started to come together with Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz is even getting some receiving work too. Dameon Pierce has been running the ball mildly well. The defense, they don't really have any big names, but they have been playing like a solid unit out there. The Falcons, they're coming off of a tough loss in London. They're back at home. Bijan Robinson didn't have a strong game against. He ran the. Did he run? I think he ran the ball pretty well actually, but he just couldn't find the end zone.
Yeah, he had that one crazy juke.
Yeah, he had 105 yards.
Yeah, they couldn't find the end zone. Desmond Ridder could not complete many passes, but with that being said, I like the Texans here. As hard as it is for me to take other AFC South teams, I think the Texans here are able to get it done, so I'm going to lay the 1.5 points for the Texans.
Yeah, it's a tough game. Been going back and forth between it because I like that Atlanta defense, but I've seen a lot out of C.J. Stroud that I like, and they're hot right now, and I think that the Texans are gonna march into Atlanta. They're gonna get the job done. I don't think it's gonna be like a necessarily amazing game. I think it might be a little sloppy, like you got like a little gritty, but yeah, I mean, you can't discredit C.J. Stroud for what he's done, and I have to acknowledge that. And I'm gonna give C.J. Stroud the edge on this one. Eric, what are we thinking over there?
I'm going Texans all day. All day.
Love it.
I like what I've seen with C.J. Stroud. He looks very composed. He's throwing the ball very well. He's got a very good completion percentage, and I just believe he will win the quarterback battle against Desmond Ridder. I think that's all it comes down to. Next up, we have the 0-4 Carolina Panthers heading into Detroit as 8.5-point underdogs. Eric, you start us off here.
Personally, I think this is going to be one of the closest games we see this weekend. You know, the Panthers aren't playing that horrible. They got lots of books on there. The Lions too are like. I feel like the Lions and the Panthers are a very similar team in terms of like who's on the offense on each side of the ball. Like you look at Goff and what's this guy's name? What's the quarterback's name on the Panthers? I forgot his name.
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. Yeah, the rookie, Bryce Young.
It's a big game for him.
It is.
0-4. It's probably his make or break game for this team. You know, they could play with the Lions. They could compete. I think it should be a semi-close game there.
I feel like it's just a matter of the Carolina Panthers offense being able to keep up with the Lions. I feel like the Lions, they're very high-powered offense. They're going to put points up on this Panthers defense. It's just a matter of if Bryce Young can connect with Adam Thielen, if Miles Sanders can get the ball, if he can run, and if DJ Chark can catch a couple passes, and if the Panthers can find their way into the end zone. I feel like that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day.
I don't think this game's close. I think the Lions are going to blow them out. I think they're going to cover that -8.5. This Lions offense has looked very good with David Montgomery running the ball extremely well. Jared Goff is playing incredible. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I mean, like, Amon-Ra is he's a top 15 receiver in the league. And then the defense side of the ball. I mean, they have a consistent, solid pass rush with led by Aiden Hutchinson. And I think this Panthers O-line is not going to be able to handle it. And I think Bryce Young is going to get flustered in the pocket. He's not going to have time to go through his progressions. And I think this one gets ugly for Carolina. I think this one gets out of hand for them, and they're gonna take a bad loss here and move to 0-5.
I think I have to take the Lions outright and the Panthers with the 8.5. I like Bryce Young. Adam Thielen's been a top 10 fantasy receiver thus far. I think he might find the end zone twice this week. I mean, it's all just a matter if Carolina can get a couple of stops and force a couple punts to keep their offense in the game. So with that being said, I have to take Carolina plus the 8.5.
Moving on, our next game, we have the Tennessee Titans as 1.5-point underdogs going into Indianapolis. Pete, these are your boys here. What are we thinking here?
I mean, Anthony Richardson looked phenomenal in the second half of last week's game. Started out slow, very slow, came fresh off concussion protocol. He played slow in the first half, didn't really complete many passes. In the second half, he threw for over 150 passing yards, forced overtime, 23 unanswered points to get into overtime. Unfortunately, the defense just could not get that one last stop to get Richardson the ball back in overtime. The Colts they've looked pretty good. Anthony Richardson, I believe, is him and C.J. Stroud are, I'd say, neck and neck for being the best rookie quarterback in the league thus far. I feel like Anthony Richardson has played phenomenally. And Jonathan Taylor coming back this week.
Yeah.
Zach Moss won't be the only one taking reps out of the backfield. I believe, with that being said, I feel like the Colts are just going to be able to really beat down on this divisional matchup. I have to feel like I love the Colts -1.5 here. The Titans, Derrick Henry's always been a problem for us. It's just a matter of if they can force enough stops to keep the Colts offense on the field and put up enough points. This game might be pretty close. It might be like a 23-20 kind of game, but I believe the Colts have enough to get this one done. This is one that they should win, especially it being a divisional matchup.
Eric, what are we thinking over there? You agree? Disagree?
I like that take. The Titans have a top 5 D-line in this game. Most running backs have been struggling against the Titans to even get in the end zone, so they're going to have to pass a lot, this team. And, Jonathan Taylor coming back, God knows what he's doing. Like, Zach Moss, they can't rely off the backfield this game. They got to throw the ball. But I like a close game out of that. I like to see the Colts win that game.
This is another tough game for me. I'm still undecided currently as we're recording this right now. But after further consideration, I mean, the Titans looked good. They looked good against Cincy last week.
They did.
They looked really good.
They did. Derrick Henry looked good.
Derrick Henry looked good.
Tannehill didn't look good. The offense didn't look good. Derrick Henry looked good.
You know what? Against my better judgment, give me the Colts -1.5. I think they dominate the trenches with that offensive line. I think Anthony Richardson being back, he's fresh off the concussion he played last week, but
he'll finally played a full game.
Yeah, he'll be back. He'll be back to play, hopefully to full strength. He showed flashes of greatness, and I think he gets it done against this Tennessee Titans secondary, which is not very good. You got Kevin Byard on the back end, but that's about it. My only concern is Jeffrey Simmons, the D tackle for Tennessee, but I think that O-line for the Colts makes work of him, and they get the job done. I'm going to take the Colts outright and by -1.5.
I think this is a bounce back game for Pittman too. He had a pretty
He
poor
did
fantasy
have a bad
week last week.
Yep.
I believe that this is a big bounce back week for him. And with that being said, the Colts, easy selection there. Next up, this is probably my game of the week. I'm probably going to take these guys in both of my survivor pools. We have the 1-3 New York Giants as 9.5 point underdogs against the Miami Dolphins, coming off of a devastating loss to Buffalo. The Miami Dolphins, they're hot and cold. That's as simple as it gets. They put up 70 points next week. They allow 50 the next week. It's just something with this Miami team. You just don't know what you're going to get. But I feel like against this New York Giants team, I believe that the Miami defense will be enough to give Miami the ball enough times to potentially run up the board against the Giants. I feel like the Dolphins are going to run away with this one early. This might be as bad as the Broncos game, if not worse. Well, I have to take the Miami Dolphins -9.5. I think Tua has a masterclass against this team. They're going to run the ball all over the Giants. The defense for the Giants has been non-existent. Daniel Jones and the offense has also been non-existent. I just believe that this Miami team this game will pretty much be a tune-up game for Miami to find their bearings after that Buffalo loss.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to start by saying I told everybody last week that the Bills were going to bring the Dolphins back down to reality. All right, we're going to get their head out of the clouds. I warned you, Pete. You took the Dolphins, and I told you. It's a mistake. But anyways, I digress.
I rode with the hot hand last week.
You did, and that did not pan out for you. But I think they get the job done this week against the Giants. I'm going to take outright and by -9.5, so they got to win by 10. I think the Dolphins coming off of that loss, they got a lot to work on, and they're going to realize that. And I think they're gonna smack the Giants. That Giants defense is a bottom 3 defense in the league. They cannot stop anything to save their lives. Along with that, I mean, we don't even know if Saquon's back. He might be back for this week. Yeah. There's a potential, but if he's not back, their offense is virtually nothing. Daniel Jones has proven that he is not the guy for the Giants, I believe. And I think the Giants are going to go into Miami and they are going to get their 4th loss of the season in bad fashion. This game is not going to be close.
Yeah. What do you think, Eric?
I don't even think I have to speak about this. But I don't think the Giants I don't think they could score a touchdown against Miami. It's going to be real bad. I think Tua throws for over 350 yards, 4 touchdowns. The whole team's just gonna go off. They'll probably end up putting Tua on the bench third quarter. They're gonna take
Mike White might even be a viable fantasy option this week.
Oh yeah.
No, I agree.
The thing is, the Dolphins got too many weapons, and going against a team with an invisible line, crappy defense, it's just wraps, man. It's gonna get to the point where we feel bad for the Giants.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I agree 100%. But moving on, we have the New Orleans Saints going into Foxborough as 1.5 point underdogs. I'm going to just come out and say it. Give me New Orleans Saints plus 1.5. Give me them outright. I think this New England Patriots team is bad. Very bad. They just lost, came out today, their rookie corner, Christian Gonzalez, to a torn labrum, so he will be out for the season, which is a huge loss for them. He was playing some terrific ball, but
so you're taking the Saints to cover?
Yeah, I'm taking them to cover. I'm taking them plus 1.5, and I'm taking them straight out.
Wow, and then you proceed to follow that up with calling them bad. Okay.
No, the Patriots are bad.
Oh, okay.
Oh, maybe I misspoke. But
you said the Saints were bad.
The Patriots. I'm not the Patriots. The Patriots are a bad football team. All right. Mac Jones is not the answer. They did just trade for J.C. Jackson. Previously a Patriot, then a Charger. Things didn't work out there. He's a system corner, and he's back in New England now. But Chris Olave had a bad week last week, but that's going to change. He's gonna go back to his old self where he's putting up like 75 yards or more a game with like 6 or 7 receptions. I think this is a game that the Saints are going to win after that loss to Tampa Bay last week.
Yeah, that was devastating.
I just can't get over the fact that Mac Jones is really that bad. I can't go against the Saints here. I like them outright and to cover.
What do you think, Eric?
Personally, I think the Patriots come into this game. I think they win this game. You know, you're looking at a bad game against the best defense in the league here. Mac Jones, crappy game, is what it is. Happens. Belichick doesn't let that shit fly all the time. It's like his worst loss in like history or something like that. I think Mac Jones comes in here fired up, knows he needs to win this game, takes back the offense, and I personally think the Saints are going to blow this game somehow. I think the Patriots lock this game in.
Pete, how we feeling over here?
I'm not gonna lie. The Patriots did just play against a top 3 defense in the league. You don't see Bill Belichick as a losing coach. Like I don't think in our lifetimes we've ever seen the Patriots start off a year 1-4, and I really don't think that this is the year that they do it. I believe that top 3 coach team in football is going to be able to get this one done against the New Orleans Saints. I think Mac Jones just needs to play his game. That Cowboys team, it's just they are a force. That game against Arizona was kind of I'd say that was it was an anomaly. It wasn't something that was supposed to happen. It wasn't
on the script.
It was not on the script. Arizona went out there and rewrote the script there. But I believe that the New England Patriots, their coaching, and I believe that their defense has always been pretty good, regardless of, you said that corner's injured. Matt Judon's going to be able to bring it home. I believe that this New England Patriots team is going to be able to take down the New Orleans Saints, and I believe the Patriots find their second win this week. I'm going to give me the Patriots, and I think they cover the 2 points here. I think they get it done by at least a field goal.
Real quick, I don't know if you want to change your answer. Matt Judon is out indefinitely. He had surgery, I think it was today, on a torn bicep.
Give me the Patriots minus 1.5.
You still riding with him even with Matt Judon out?
Give me the Patriots.
All right, I respect it.
Next up, we have the 3-1 Baltimore Ravens heading into Pittsburgh as 4.5-point favorites here. I'll start us off here. The Baltimore Ravens, they're a decent team. Their record is better than they are. Their only loss came from the lowly Indianapolis Colts. This Pittsburgh Steelers team, their defense is tough. Kenny Pickett has his moments. The Steelers defense is no joke. They have multiple touchdowns this year. They're picking quarterbacks off left and right. They're forcing fumbles left and right. And I just believe that Lamar Jackson is not one of the better ball handlers in the league. Pause. But I think that with that being said, the Pittsburgh Steelers with their defense is going to be enough to hand the Baltimore Ravens their second loss, and I believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers move up into first place in the division after this game. Give me the Steelers plus 4.5.
First of all, I don't know if Kenny Pickett's playing. It could be Mitch Trubisky's season.
That's fine.
It could be Mitch Trubisky's season.
That's fine. He made the playoffs as a Bear.
Yes, he did. I think he's still got some left in the tank. But I do agree when you say that the Ravens' record is better than they are. I do not think the Ravens are that good of a football team, to be honest. Their defense is not the best anymore. On offense, I mean, you have Mark Andrews, you have Zay Flowers, but that passing attack is not what you want it to be when you're a top team in the AFC. You need to have something that you can go toe to toe with some big guns in the AFC. However, this Pittsburgh Steelers offense is really tragic.
Yeah, they are struggling.
I do like the Pittsburgh Steelers defense against the Ravens, but you got to score points to win games. All right, you can't rely on your defense to score you all your points. And for that reason, I'm gonna take Baltimore to win, and I think I'm gonna take them to cover -4.5.
Wow.
Eric, what are we thinking over there?
I think this game's going to rely solely off the Ravens defense and the Steelers defense. I think you're going to see. I think whatever defense is playing better is going to result in who's scoring and who's not. Because you look at the Steelers defense, they got some dogs on that team.
Absolutely.
The Ravens offense, obviously they could be stopped. The Colts beat them, Bengals, they're getting lit up. They're getting scored on by other teams that they shouldn't be. It's the Ravens, the hype behind Lamar, all this stuff. I don't know. I really think that whatever defense is outstanding more is going to win the game. I think it's a low-scoring offensive game, and I couldn't tell you who wins this game, frankly.
Fair enough, yeah. I like that
Plus,
take.
if Lamar shows out, they're not going to win the game.
I think I agree. I think this is going to be a defensive slugfest, and it's going to be whichever defense plays better, can hand their offense the better field position, is going to win this game.
Definitely.
Next up, we have the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles as 4.5-point favorites heading into Los Angeles.
I'll start us off on this one. First of all, for the Rams, Cooper Kupp could make his debut this week, against the Philadelphia Eagles, which I hope he does. I've got him on fantasy, so that would make my team so much better if he comes back. But that's besides the point. You got the 4-0 Philadelphia Eagles. They're 4-0, and they have not been playing their best ball. They have not looked like the team that they were last year, and even though they haven't looked like that, they're still 4-0, which is their roster is incredible. And their coach Nick Sirianni, they're doing a good job over there. They march into Los Angeles, going to SoFi Stadium.
Towing off with another top contender in the NFC.
Yeah, I think the Rams have really surprised us this year. Everyone thought, I thought at least, that they were not going to be very good this year, but they had some great draft picks.
Matt Stafford is showing a lot of fight left. He's been playing pretty well.
Absolutely. But that being said, I think I'm still going to take the Eagles. I think the Eagles move to 5-0, and I think they cover the 4.5. That offense is just too good. It's explosive. They can run the ball with DeAndre Swift.
A.J. Brown finally showed up last week.
Yep.
For me, doesn't matter if Cooper Kupp plays. Doesn't really make a difference. I believe that the Eagles haven't even been playing great football, and they're 4-0. I think if they have a good game here, they could easily blow this Rams team out of the water. This Philadelphia offense is an absolute. They're one of the biggest juggernauts in the NFL. I have to take the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm going to take them with the 4.5 here.
Yeah, I agree. Eric?
Personally, I would stay away from all bets here. You're looking at the Rams, good offense. Cooper Kupp's going to play. Let's be real here. Eagles, too, strong offense. It's going to be a high-scoring game here, folks. The Rams, it's going to be Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, and Tutu Atwell with Kyron Williams in the back. Eagles got A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, what's his face in the backfield? DeAndre Swift in the back.
Dallas Goedert.
It's going to be a high-scoring game here. I would stay away from all bets on this, and I don't know the result of this. I would like to see the Rams win because I like Tutu Atwell. I got him running at my wide receiver 2 this week.
Oh.
Ooh.
I think this is going to be a big game this week.
Yeah.
I just got to take the Eagles here. Give me them with the 4.5.
I agree.
Next up, we have the lowly, awful, sorry 1-3 Bengals heading in to the desert of Arizona as 3.5-point favorites. I can't even believe the Bengals are like a favorite at this point in the year. Josh Dobbs has been playing like he wants an award this year.
Josh Dobbs has been playing very well. He has impressed me.
He's been playing like an absolute animal. He has heart. He has passion. He hasn't been sliding. He's been lowering his shoulder whenever he runs the ball. Joe Burrow, on the other hand, he hasn't played great. The Cincinnati offense they were held to 3 points by the Titans. I mean, don't get me wrong, that Titans defense is decent, but
It's not that good.
they're not good enough to hold the Cincinnati Bengals to 3 points. With that being said, I feel like this Cardinals team, they beat Dallas, they kind of hung around against San Fran. It wasn't an absolute blowout.
No, it wasn't.
They showed up. They showed up. They didn't win. They didn't cover, but they showed up. I believe that this Arizona defense has had much tougher matchups than this Bengals defense, this Bengals team. With that being said, give me Arizona outright and give me them plus the 3.5. I like this Arizona team. James Conner, Hollywood Brown. I love Josh Dobbs now. Guy's a freaking animal.
Yeah, I mean, I look at this Bengals team. I've seen how they've been playing, and there's really nothing that makes me want to pick them here. Really nothing. Joe Burrow, he has had an injury, but he's playing such a low-level football right now. Even with an injury, I get it. Like, it's an injury. Like, you're not going to be playing as well as you do when you're not injured. But, like, this Bengals team, compared to last year, like, I don't know what happened during the offseason, but this Bengals team is legitimately looking like they're not going to make the playoffs after being one of the favorites to come out of the AFC and make it to the Super Bowl this year, which is
They're having a serious Super Bowl loss hangover is what it looks like to me.
Yeah, and I like Josh Dobbs. I mean, he's been playing great. They can run the ball with James Conner. Marquise Brown, sleeper on fantasy, all right? If you have a chance to get Marquise Brown, you should buy him, all right? I think he's more than worthy of a flex spot, even if you need him to be your wide receiver 2 some weeks. I think he's a viable option, and I'm going to agree with you. Give me the Cardinals outright and give me them plus 3.5. I think they absolutely cover that.
I'd almost say switch the line. Give me the minus 3.5.
Wow.
I think this Cardinals team shows up and shows the Bengals what they're about. Eric, what do you think here?
I like the Cardinals all day on this. You look at Burrow's stats. The guy's got 2 passing touchdowns of the year. That's it. The guy's missing some key factors of the offense. T. Higgins is out. Took a bad loss to the Titans. They just don't have the juice to compete for some reason. And it's odd this year because they're starting off real bad. Mm-hmm. Even Burrow's struggling. The whole offense is struggling. But if they get a chance to click, it's going to be a good game. It's pretty much their make or break game also.
Yeah, I would agree. Falling to 1-4 that's a tough spot to get out of. You're almost going to have to win 8 or 9 straight to get back into playoff contentions.
Especially if Baltimore wins and they go to 4-1, and they're up a game in the division, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out on
We'll
Sunday.
find out on Sunday.
Give me Arizona.
Next up, we have the New York Jets, Eric's team, going into Mile High Stadium as 2.5-point underdogs. Eric, start us off here.
Personally, we've seen the best game out of Zach Wilson in his career. Outperformed Patrick Mahomes for the first time in his whole career. Patrick Mahomes, the $500 million man.
Yep.
Outperformed by a freaking bench player who's getting trashed on every week, talking crap about him, had no respect in the locker room. Last week he walks into Kansas City, comes into MetLife, has a freaking one hell of a game. Guy looks like Aaron Rodgers, was looking like Aaron Rodgers out there. Freaking, they got robbed by the refs.
That is true.
I think Zach's pissed off. We're in Denver. I think the Jets blow them out of the water. Wow. Frankly.
Blow them out.
I do like. I really like. I liked what I saw out of Zach Wilson Sunday night. They went out there and they shocked the Chiefs. They kept that game real close. They were down 17-0, and they brought it right back. The Jets defense stood tall. They never gave up on their quarterback. I like how Zach Wilson has progressed. I believe it was literally last year where he only scored 3 points in a game, and he was asked in a press conference if he believes that was on him, and he said absolutely not. Now, this past Sunday in his press conference, they lost 23-20, and he said that it was on him. He's taking serious accountability. He's making large steps in the league. Zach Wilson, he does have his moments of greatness, and he has a lot of moments of, like, it looks like, what the hell are you doing out there? But I believe that this New York Jets defense will keep them in this game, and Zach Wilson will thrive against this Broncos defense. Give me the New York Jets outright.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it comes down to the New York Jets defense. We all know this Denver Bronco offense is not very good. If the Jets can just keep them in this game, maybe a couple turnovers wouldn't hurt, which I think they're more than capable of doing. I think the Jets are more than likely in this, and I think if they can get their run game going a little bit with Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook, it's going to open up the passing game. You can sneak a little play action in there. You can get some nice easy completions for Zach Wilson, get him going, and I liked what I saw out of him last week. And I think he continues his trend, his upward trend of playing decent, like not just totally awful.
Yeah.
So I think they march into Mile High.
I feel like this is a game where the Jets only need Zach Wilson to put up 17 or 20 points against this Broncos defense.
Definitely.
It's really not going to be.
I think he does way more than that. I think he walks in there and throws for over 3 touchdowns. Zach Wilson went 7 and 8 on play action passes against the Chiefs after going 8 and 15 in the first 3 games. The O-line is up like 68% from what they started at. The line's getting good. The defense is playing like dogs. You got to understand, this team came from nothing to here. We're doing real good.
They are.
And I don't think Denver's offense can compete with the Jets' defense. I think you're going to see a field day out of this defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why I'm taking the Jets this week, unfortunately, because they are in the AFC East with my Buffalo Bills. But I think the Jets improve.
Next up, we have the 3-1 Kansas City Chiefs heading into Minnesota as 5.5-point favorites. The Chiefs, I believe, got shocked by the New York Jets last week, and I believe that I don't think that'll happen again. I believe this Vikings team is not great. Kirk Cousins has been playing. He's been playing very well, but I believe that the Kansas City Chiefs are the better football team, and in this case, I believe the better football team is going to get it done. Give me the Chiefs minus 5.5.
Eric, how are we feeling about this matchup?
Taking Vikings for this.
I like it.
And the reasoning behind this is Vikings are home. They have a big home field advantage. You know, obviously the Chiefs got rode out last week by the refs against the Jets. Looking at the Vikings, you know, Zach Wilson had a lot of deep ball throws against the Chiefs. Yeah, Zach Wilson kind of embarrassed the whole team. Super Bowl champions last year. The Vikings got it. I think Kirk Cousins is slinging against the Chiefs. I got Vikings. I think Taylor Swift that's going to be done after this. Vikings fan, they're going to go crazy. I just think the Vikings got it. I don't think Chiefs are that good. Jets obviously proved that, and I got Vikings.
You know what, Eric? Let's ride. I agree with you. Give me the Minnesota Vikings outright, obviously to cover, plus 5.5. I think the Vikings get back on schedule with trying to compete in the division in the NFC. I think Kirk Cousins gets his head out of his ass. He might throw a pick, but I don't think he's going to. No more of this red zone stuff.
Nothing too costly.
Nothing too costly. I think Justin Jefferson's going to have a field day. The only thing that they need to watch out for is Chris Jones. Chris Jones is a game breaker.
Yeah.
But I think Kansas City, they showed last week that they are absolutely beatable. Absolutely, even with a lead. You just got to fluster Mahomes, make him move around.
You just got to not give up.
Right, and you got to bend. No break. So give me the Minnesota Vikings to win, plus 5.5.
Next up, I feel like it's an easy one for me here. Primetime, San Francisco 49ers hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Very small line, 3.5 points. I feel like the San Francisco 49ers are the much better football team. Inside and out, quarterback, receivers, running back, defense, where any position you name, the Niners have a better man. Give me the Niners. Give me the Niners by 10. Give me the Niners by 14. I think the Niners absolutely obliterate this Cowboys team. And send them back down to earth after that game against the Patriots.
Yeah. Give me the Niners minus 3.5. I mean, what else to be said? They're the best team in football. I'll be the first one to say it.
Hands down, best team in
they
football.
They have the best defense in the league. Their offense is firing on all cylinders with Brock Purdy. This Cowboys offense is a bit suspect. All right, they are not the offense that we thought they were going to be. And then on the defensive side of the ball, they do have Micah Parsons, but you're going up against maybe the best offensive line in football, and I think the Niners get it done at home.
Yeah. What do you think, Eric?
Honestly, it's going to be a close game. Cowboys defense has it, though. You got to understand, Micah Parsons going against their line, the whole thing. I don't know who I like out of this one because, 49ers the 49ers, but anybody can be beat, as you saw from last week's plan of actions.
Anybody can be beat.
I would stay away from any bet in this game. It's going to be the best game we see this weekend.
I hope so.
I would love to see the Cowboys win. I would like to see their defense perform, but, it's Dallas, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's going to be 49ers, but I feel like the world wants to see the Cowboys beat them this
Yeah.
weekend.
Moving on, we have the Green Bay Packers as 1.5-point favorites going into Vegas. Pete, why don't you start us off?
I don't think I'm a believer in Jordan Love anymore after what I've seen. Started off the year kind of hot. He looked good. He has regressed. This Las Vegas Raiders team, their offense has started to pick it up. They've kept it closer in games. They haven't really made much noise over there in the AFC West. Very difficult division to do that in, but I believe that the Las Vegas Raiders with Davante Adams, whoever's quarterbacking them, Aiden O'Connell, Brian Hoyer, or Jimmy G, whoever's at the helm of this team, all they got to do is get the ball to their best player. Get the ball to Davante Adams. If you have to, throw it to Jacoby Myers. Send Josh Jacobs up the middle. I feel like that this Raiders team, they're a more complete roster than Green Bay. And that's kind of saying a lot because Las Vegas is very far from complete. But I feel like Max Crosby is going to feast against this Packers offensive line. And with that being said, I have to take the Raiders, and with the plus 1.5, it's hard to believe that they're underdogs at this home game.
Eric, thoughts?
Hold on a second. So I'm on my phone here. Hold on here. Raiders, Packers. Garoppolo's got concussion, has not been cleared yet.
Correct.
Packers is sitting at 2-2. Raiders are at 1-3. They're in Vegas. Green Bay has freaking put up a fight against multiple teams, and I just don't think Vegas has it at all. Like I think the Packers win this game overall.
You're taking the Packers? I'm going to have to disagree. Give me the Las Vegas Raiders plus 1.5. Give me them to win. It's a revenge game for Davante Adams coming up against his former team.
He can't lose his revenge game.
I'm hoping for the Raiders that Jimmy G he's cleared to play, because that'll definitely
Concussion
help
protocol
their
is hard to
chances.
clear, though.
It is hard to clear, but this Packers defense has not been what we think they would be. That they have not been as dominant as we expected. I think Davante Adams, Jacoby Myers, Josh Jacobs, I think they get it done against this Packers defense. And I don't think Jordan Love is going to be able to move the ball even on this lackluster Raiders defense. I don't think they'll be able to move the ball very much. And you think he balls out?
I think he's balling out Monday.
Respectfully disagree.
We'll have to see what happens on Monday. All right, With that being said, that completes our slate for this weekend of football coming up. Big thank you to Eric for joining us this week.
Thank you, Eric.
And we'll hope to see him again.
Yep.
This has been Chow Time. Thanks for riding with us. We'll see you next week.